the cloud is just hanging up in the trees, which was really, really pretty. And really exciting. You know, again, you're ready to start this trek, and you're about to head into the rainforest up this curvy, windy path where, you know, ultimately you know that you're going to end up at, you know, 19,340 feet. The transition from rainforest to moorland is literally, you could cut it with a knife. It's within about 50 feet that you come out of this rainforest, and then the landscape is completely different. So the cool thing about Kilimanjaro is that it's constantly offering you new surprises, new perspectives, and really challenging your expectations of what you thought it was going to be. You know, you don't realize that you're at 8,000 or 9,000 feet here already. You still have a lot of the mountain to go, but you know, you've been climbing for 2 days, and you've just hit the plateau. And there you see the real peak, what most people think about as the tough part, and you can see it all ahead of you. And we just got really lucky because it had been really cloudy. And once we got to Shira 1, everything kind of cleared out, and we had amazing views of the summit and the crater. This is taken from Shira 2, our second camp, at around, I think it's around 13,000 feet. And this is the point at which we're, you know, for a fair amount of the rest of the trip, we're above the cloud line. You can see forever, and you got the knife edge of the Shira Plateau in the background, and the clouds all laid out before you, you know, right at sunset. So this was a gorgeous view, and again, another one of those moments where you literally can't believe you're there. The day we got to Lava Tower, we'd actually taken a rest for a while and then climbed up there with Avance and Leonce, and this was one of the views looking south from the top of Lava Tower, where, I mean, the clouds are just boiling around you, and you have that view in the background, and then to the north is Kilimanjaro and Kibo Crater and Uhuru, and all this is just surrounding you, and you can't even believe that it's real. And that's pretty much the feeling everybody has, I think, at the top of Lava Tower is what Leonce is doing right there, just like absolutely stoked. Right after we'd climbed Lava Tower, we were looking up, and they have this part of an eland skull and its horns that mark the path on the way up to the next camp, which is Arrow Camp near the Arrow Glacier. But this is really the first time that we can see the path up through the Western Breach, which is the route that we were taking up to Kilimanjaro. So really, really cool just to check this out in the afternoon and see everything lit up, and be able to see exactly where you're going and know that's what you have to climb through. And then here we are taking that path to get up there. You can see Lava Tower in the background, and actually the path halfway back to Shira 2. Really amazing. Not a lot of people on Kilimanjaro get to do this. I think the Western Breach is done by about 1% overall of all the Kili climbers. So, you know, being able to do more of a mountaineering experience on a mountain that's typically considered a walk-up, even though it's a difficult walk-up, it's definitely you got the altitude, but it's considered fairly easy. Doing a route like this is really cool. Because not many people do it. It is more of a challenge, and you really feel, you know, like you're climbing a mountain at that point. So this is Ingrid looking very chilly right near the Furtwängler Glacier, which is literally steps from our camp at Crater Camp, which is where we chose to spend the night prior to our summit night. And the cool thing about this is that, you know, while most people when they summit Kilimanjaro get up around midnight and hike for 16 hours in the bitter freezing cold, we were able to sleep in the glacier till a balmy 4:30 or so in the morning, and then get up, have breakfast, and summit in about an hour, and still make the sunrise. So this was really cool, just the view being at Crater Camp and having the glacier and the ash pit and Uhuru Peak right behind you and all around you. So it's really amazing. Chilly, but well worth it. Well worth it. And now this, of course, is the view, not quite from the summit. This is on the way to the summit after you've gone up through and reached the saddle. But this was our view of a climbing party behind us that we had passed on the way up, and saw them in the distance. And we are probably maybe 10 minutes from the summit from here, but looking back, the sunrise and the way the light hit the mountain was absolutely gorgeous. You know, you can't help but get a little bit emotional once you get to the top. You don't think you will, but you end up, you do, in a good way. So it's actually really, really cool to be up there and just see the sunlight hit that sign and go up and touch it. And there's Ingrid, the champion. Her summit celebration right there. She was awesome on this whole trip. She actually kicked my butt up the mountain quite a bit, and I'm usually the one that's more let's go, let's climb, etc. And like I said, I'd caught a cold and stuff like that, so I was dragging behind a little bit, and she was chugging up the mountain strong like Impala. So this is a great celebration for her because she was amazing the whole trip. There's that view that I keep talking about with just the cloudscape going off into forever, and the side of the mountain and the glaciers, which are, you know, curving around the mountain contours into the distance. And, you know, again, just an amazing feeling that you're able to be in that moment at that time, and it's really, really a gift. We started walking down from the summit probably about 20 minutes after we had gotten to the top, and I think this is the view that most people see when they come up to Kilimanjaro by the standard routes. The interesting thing is that we came up pretty much the opposite way on the other side of the summit. This was really a privilege to be able to take a shot like this with all the folks that were materially involved in getting us to where our dreams were, which is at the top of that mountain. So again, an amazing time and an absolutely outstanding crew. And of course, any trip to Kilimanjaro wouldn't be complete without a celebratory beer at the end of it. And of course, it has to be a Kilimanjaro beer, which turned out to actually be our favorite beer in Africa. And as Leonce, our guide, is fond of saying, we started moving mountains.